Welcome to War Games. We will get you ready for your next sales opportunity. Are you looking to win the sales battle? You have joined the right team. Here on the War Games Group, we take the strategies and mindsets from the most successful salespeople and share it with you. With our help, you won't have to fail your way to the top. When it comes to crossing the minefield of sales, step in the footprints of those that crossed before you. Prepare yourself for boot camp and beyond. It's time for War Games to begin.
Shall we play a game?
Welcome, War Gamers. Joe here with you. Hey, I just want to say I apologize for starting a little late. We had StreamYard crash for some unknown reason, and now we're back. So I am thoroughly excited today, guys, because I have a friend that I have made digitally, and we've done plenty of rooms out on Clubhouse together, and he is starting up a new company, and I want to jump in real quick and let you guys meet. And let's see, Brian is out here cruising around in his car, but still wanted to participate as usual. So Mike C ROC, welcome to the War Games. How are you, buddy?
What's happening, Joe? Brian, great to see you again. I see Brian in person more than I see him on video. So
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah. So great to be here, guys.
Fantastic. Thank you. Let me move us around a little bit like this. So, Mike, what I wanted to do is we have a group of entrepreneurs that are here today that are doing what? They are trying to sell things today, and things are getting themselves just a little out of hand. And most people are trying to focus and say, what can I do to sell something more today? You have a completely different experience than most of the people that I have bring on the show. And you're a serial entrepreneur that knows how to help people to sell, hence the rocket fuel in the back that you have on the table there. So I wanted to say, let's give a little history of you and what brought you into the world. And then let's start talking about Blooprinted and what you can do to help entrepreneurs to sell something today.
Yeah, I came from a broken family, broken household. Don't remember my parents together. And as I was growing up, there was a lot of brokenness in my family. Drug addicts, alcohol, cousins, uncles, what have you. My grandmother committed suicide at one point when I was going into college. And up until that point, I was keeping myself straight. I was an athlete, played football, straight A student, heading off to college to play football. And when my grandmother passed away of suicide, it really turned things for me. And from that point on, I looked for partying and escapes and chasing women. And I played football for 2 years, but that I wasn't really focused. I didn't really put the effort that I should have put into it. And looking back on that, actually, like I'm actually embarrassed to talk about that, but the reason I'm talking about it is because I want to share with people like how I got to where I am, right? It's not to play victim or complain or what have you. But what ended up happening is I went through a phase of drinking, partying, and working in the restaurant business. Dropped out of college. And of course, that's not the best environment to be in when you're partying, in that partying mode, because you're around cash, you're around after parties when the bars close. Everybody would go to party and then sleep in, and it just wasn't good. And the reason I'm, again, telling you this is because then I was looking at some point, I realized there's a problem here, and I need to get back on track. And where's my out? And this gentleman came into my restaurant. He came in, he was a regular. And he said, "Hey man, why are you still in this restaurant? Why don't you come, meet with me one day and just see what we do? And I think you'd be good at it." And it was an in-home sales job. And it was selling water treatment systems. We would go sell water, RainSoft. I don't know if you guys have heard of RainSoft before. We would go test water for free. We'd show them what was in the water if there was a problem, and then we would show them how to fix it. And then we would try to close that night. And we could be in a home from an hour and a half to 3 hours. And we would try to close the deal. And they had no idea we were even coming to sell them something, majority of the time. But for 9 years, I did that, which developed my sales abilities, my building rapport, presenting, like demoing, closing, handling objections. Once you got to close and a sale, sealing it up and make sure they didn't want to cancel in 3 days, like 3-day right of rescission rule. All kinds of stuff.
Right. So, but you were at the kitchen table. So that already puts you at one advantage that most people don't get. They're calm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I did that for 9 years, and until I realized that, this isn't what I wanted to do the rest of my life. I didn't mind selling, but I wanted to try something different. And I got into real estate and mortgages back in 2005 or six.
Well, okay, so 5 or 6 jump into mortgage, but again, you were top business leader to follow in 2020 from Yahoo, right? And you're one of the top mortgage professionals based off Yahoo Finance. Okay, so it seems to me like you've taken everything to the next level of the next level in everything that you do. Okay, so what would you say caused you to, again, jump brands? You learned how to sell, you jumped into mortgage, which is just a different way of selling something. But what are the things that make C ROC different, that make him to push that way? Because again, you change industries, things get harder.
Well, I think sales is a big part of it. Understanding, knowing how to sell, knowing how, to, paying attention to people and being able to really, Brian's really good at this, reading people, right? And you can read people, then you can pretty much do whatever you want. And I have a good heart. So of course it's always, I want to do things to help people. But at the end of the day, I use a word, I'm very stubborn, but I love this word, inexorable. Inexorable, if you don't know what that word means, because I didn't when I first saw it, inexorable means unyielding and unable to be stopped. And I wake up every morning telling myself that I'm inexorable. So no matter what I do, I'm not going to be stopped. I'm going to accomplish it. Now, the reason I switched a couple of times is because I want to play a bigger game once I get to a certain point, it's like, okay, what's next? And when there's not a next level to it, I gotta find a bigger game. Because to me, life's a game. And I want to have fun. It's not so serious all the time. I want to have fun, doing it. So fun to me is
winning
elevating.
is more fun.
Yeah, elevating, like stacking wins and elevating. And then, from there, it's helping other people, Joe. I get off on helping other people.
That's fantastic. And that, again, Brian and I share that as well, is that it's about helping. The whole show here is about to help people. So when you sit down and you jump into this new one, so across the replays and everything that's out in LinkedIn and what have you, it's entrepreneurs that are out there trying to sell something. What do you say is the one thing they need to focus on today to try to say, this is going to help you to sell something?
Well, anytime that you're not where you want to be, your numbers aren't where they are, you're not making the money you want to make, whatever it is, you need to check your commitments. What are you committed to? And, our life right now and the future that we're going to have is all based on decisions that we've made, and decisions lead to commitments. And, if you look up the definition of commitment, which I'll do right now because I'm a big definition guy. So I don't think I'm off camera. Am I? No. Okay. Here, let me look this up real quick because I want to read this so everybody understands. When I talk about commitment, I'm not talking about doing it when you feel like it, doing it when it's easy, doing it when people are looking. I'm talking about you do it all the time, like both butt cheeks in, all your whole body in, your soul, your heart is committed. Commitment, and here's the definition: the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause or activity, a pledge or an undertaking. And then another one I like, the second definition, is an engagement or obligation that restricts freedom of action. So for me, like, commitment means the only action when I'm committed to something, my only action is going to be towards that commitment. Also, your thoughts and words should be in that direction, and the environment that you keep. So when you want to sell something, you want to get good at it, you got to find out and make sure you're committed to that. What are you committed to? And then eliminate everything else. So when I say that, some people could say, well, that's good and everything, but what if I'm not good at it? Well, if you're not good at it, then part of the commitment is to train. Part of the commitment is to do it over and over and over again. I'll tell you now, I'm in tech startups, and I'm a co-founder of a company called Blooprinted, which we talked about, and you'll see the link in a minute. In order to start this company, before it was even developed, I started selling creators to come into the platform for $2,500 before the thing was even done, before we even launched. Unheard of in tech. It's absolutely unheard of in tech to start selling before your MVP is even ready to go. And I generated $100,000 in revenue in 2 weeks by setting up 200 15-minute Zoom calls. Now, in order to have executed 200 Zoom calls where people showed up and I talked to them, just think about the amount of calls and reach outs that we had to do to get that done in a week. And then from there to be able to sell 40. So I may be like far removed from the in-home sales game, but I still got game, son.
Oh, but yeah, let's also say that's a work ethic that most people can't come close to. Right?
Well, it's
For
because
you
of
to sit
commitment.
down.
It's all about commitment. I'm just, when I set my sights on something, I'm getting it. And that's where it starts. If people try to do something and they're not at that level of commitment, of course they're not going to be good at it. They're not going to be consistent enough at it. But I'm an animal when it comes to commitment, and that's where it starts.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, really, and by the way, you can't get committed until you're clear on what you want. Like clarity is always the first step, like really getting clear. Most people can't do that because they think that if they get a clear vision of what they want, it's set in stone and they can't change it. So they run away from it. When understanding that it is actually, your clear vision of what you want in life is a living organism. It can evolve, it can change. And once you know that, you just need to set the one you want, commit to it, and then take consistent actions, words, thoughts, actions towards that direction.
That's amazing. Okay. So we're going to sit down. What is there an exercise? Is there something that you do that says this is how I'm going to seek clarity, or how am I going to define what that vision is? Because I'll tell you, my vision has changed so many times as I go through the entrepreneurial journey that comes up. But again, how do you know you're in the right one?
Well, you'll know you're in the right one when you're sitting somewhere quiet, no distractions, taking a deep breath and paying attention to your breath, and really just pay attention to what's going on. And then what happens is you start to think about, okay, what lights me up? Like, what if I was doing something and I loved it and I felt great about it? Like, what would that thing be? What do I want my life to be like? Who do I want to be around and do it with? Where do I want to live? Do I want to go on vacation often? Do I want to travel? Do I want to stay home and be a hermit? Like, am I cool with owning a home or renting a home? Like what, just going through all these things and thinking about it, man, it's your life. Like, we only have one life as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, unless we
Right.
some people believe in reincarnation. But I think if that happens, you forget about each life. So
Most of them aren't telling you that they had the previous one. So
yeah. So you only have one. So you might as well invest time
right.
to do that. So that's how I do it. And then whatever lights you up, man. Like, why would you ever visualize and think about wanting something that doesn't light you up and settling and negotiating for something less than that? That's unacceptable to me.
I agree. Okay. So what happens, right? Because I know I get this a lot of times, so I'd love your perspective on it as well, is that what if the person that is limiting me or the person that I should be eliminating is family?
That doesn't make any difference to me.
Okay. We both have the same answer.
Look, here's the thing. I get married and I start having a vision and a dream that I want to accomplish. I share it with my wife. I communicate it to my wife. If she starts giving me shit about it, then I start having a more conversation and communicating further about it, making sure it's what I want. And then also understanding, hey, listen, this is what I want. I want you to support me and ask for support with it. State that this is the direction I'm going to go in, whether you like it or not, because this is my dream. And, you might be able to say it a little better than I'm saying it right now, but I'm just, this is the attitude you got to have. It's like, no, if I want something and it's definitely a good thing, and I'm going to share that and communicate it. And if I don't get support from that, then we have an issue. And I'm going to communicate the fact that we have an issue and get on the same page with my wife. Or if it's my mom, my brother, right. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, now there is a situation where you may say, you know what, this thing that I want is not really worth it to give up and cause any conflict. Okay. That's a decision you have to make, because you always have to give something up to make room for something you want to bring into your life. So, but for me, like, when I set my sights on something, man, people around me that know me just know that, okay, we gotta, yeah, if we're going to hang with him and we want his time and attention, we're going to have to put up with it. And let's see how we can benefit from it.
And I think that goes right back to what you told us before on the clarity. If you're clear on the vision and it's something that lights you up, then seriously, nobody should be standing in the way. Right.
They should support you and want to help you with it. And the thing is that the reason that a lot of people can't get this vision and they can't get clear is because there's a suppressive person or thing in their life. That's literally holding them back, draining them. And you really got to find that, because if you don't find that, your creativity suffers. you're obviously
creating a
clarity.
job. You created a job.
Yeah.
You created something you have to go do, which is not there. And so Lisa Patrick's over here. Success requires abnormality of thought and action.
Who's Lisa Patrick?
Lisa Patrick is.
No, I'm just messing around. I'm messing around. She's a
in
friend of mine.
Canada. Yes. So yeah, she jumped over from LinkedIn back over to Facebook, but she's still the anonymous person that is there. But
Cool. What's up, Lisa?
Yeah. So, and again, I think we've all been on Clubhouse rooms together back when it was a thing. I don't know if you're still on it.
Yeah. I'm on there.
Okay. So,
hey, Joe, by the way, I was just thinking about something the other day. I do Cardone University still to this day. Every day I watch videos because, and even though I've probably watched 4,000 videos in that platform. Grant was talking about one time how many free seminars he's done and how many times he was flying around the country and this and that. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do that again. And I'm 40 some years old. I'm thinking about this like, oh, I was going through this thought like I'm just getting into sales. When I watch these videos, I pretend I'm just getting in again. Okay. And then I started thinking about, wait a minute, 9 years in home sales, and I broke the numbers down very conservatively and trying to figure out how many actual demonstrations that I do over those years, right?
Yeah.
And it was like 4,200. Like, and I just like, I'm blown away by like thinking about, wow, I've already been there. I don't need to go back and do another 4,000 because I can do less and get more done, but you do have to put the time in.
Oh, agreed. And one of the things I always say is sales is only a numbers game until you become educated. Right. And so once you become educated, like you just said, I don't have to do 4,200 to accomplish what I did before because my closing ratio is going to be so much higher now. And my ability to adapt to the person across the table from me is what has already changed and you've, built up.
Not only that, though, I've learned how to scale and buy other people's time, train other people, teach them how to do it, manage them, and get them to sell. And then as they come up and get better, then they can start building teams. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, how can we just build a bunch like a tree? You see a tree branches down and everybody just builds people underneath of them. I've learned that I didn't know how to do that back in the day.
Correct.
Now I do. So
what do you look for in that person that you are going to invest your time in as far as for the scalability?
Well, first thing is understanding what the mission is for my company, and then making sure I find out what their goals are, because their personal, professional, financial goals are important. And we need to make sure they align with our companies and mine. If they align, if they don't, then we ask them, can you get in alignment? If they can't, no personal, hard feelings or anything. Once they're in alignment, then we go over the core values. And I have core values that I live by in our business and personal. And it's an acronym, VITALS. Vibes matter, emotions are contagious. If you're taking notes, you want to write this down. Vibes matter, emotions are contagious. Imagine, no lids, endless potential. That's the I. The T is take 100% responsibility. The A is all setbacks are rocket fuel.
Nice.
The L is leadership starts with me. I don't care what position you are, how new you are. Every single person is considered a leader in my book. And the S is success is the only option. And that core values guides our business. We hire and fire based on the core values. We communicate in our organization on the core values. That's changed everything for me and my business as well.
Our friend, look, Lisa became real again. So,
there she is.
But they don't have to be a direct match. So, yeah. And again, you can always hire or bring somebody on board that is in a skill set that you don't have. But
absolutely.
But they still have to match the vitals.
Yeah. I mean, look, we all have weaknesses. So why wouldn't you bring somebody in that has like fills a hole or gap, right? And a lot of people won't scale or delegate things because they think that they're the only ones that can do it. And some people need to learn and they may not be as good as you, but there are people out there that could be better than you.
Yeah.
So you have to remember that. But I mean, now there's no way, even in this tech, I'm thinking, okay, how can we scale this sales thing? Because I can't be doing 200 Zoom calls like that. It's just not. Right.
That was the kickoff. Yeah, exactly. That's startup mode that goes in. Yeah. So talk to me about Blooprinted. Blooprinted. What is it that you're doing that's going to change the world?
Well, I don't want to promote Blinkit, but Blinkit's a website that reads books, I guess, and it gives you a book in 15 minutes so that you can break it down. Because look, everybody's time is short nowadays. Yeah. Everybody has very low patience. Their attention span is like pretty much gone. So what I wanted to do is digital courses take forever. They're not granular enough. They don't go step by step most of the time. And I wanted to break it down where people could get results quicker. So Blooprinted is a marketplace, a step-by-step process is very simple that somebody can do in bite-sized pieces, 10 to 15 minutes a day if they want, and they can accomplish a win in all different categories, whether it's starting a podcast, how to write a book, how to sell better, how to build a personal brand, even how to start my own backyard garden, whatever it may be. Very, very short bite-sized pieces that people can accomplish, get wins very quickly, and not have to pay attention to for a long time. So that's what Blooprinted is.
So like looking at it, there's you with Grant Cardone, your how to start a podcast and things like that. So when you look at, and I'm looking at all of them. So when you look at that, you're offering a marketplace to say, here's how you can get better, right?
So
in a particular area.
Yeah, the marketplace is filled with blueprints, and the blueprints are step-by-step processes to achieve an outcome in bite-sized pieces. So we're just loading creators in now. We have just under 50 creators, and they're building their blueprints now. And then now we're going into verticals. Like this week, we're looking at mental health and mental health professionals and mindset coaches. And we want to go really deep in that vertical this week. Next week, we'll switch it up to another vertical.
And all so the while, is it monthly subscription or piecemeal?
No. So a creator can pay an annual fee to come in, and they have access to the platform to build blueprints in it. And then we get a piece of their sales.
Oh yeah. I was talking about for the people that are on War Games now, looking at it and going, oh, I'm going to go there. Do I buy just one?
No, they can just go in and look at it. And if they see it, there's not many blueprints up there yet. I just want to get it out of obscurity with it. Or if they want to become a creator and build a blueprint, like if they have something they've achieved, they can do that. And if they engage with me further in the future, we're going to be doing a challenge very soon, in the beginning of May, on how to extract your genius and expertise and monetize very quickly from it.
That's fantastic.
Hey, I have to run into my hotel, Joe. You need to ask C ROC about his dedication to running even after he was almost assaulted in San Diego.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he just asked it for me. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was running in San Diego and just getting ready to cool down. So I started walking, and there's some homeless fellas on the street with a tent. And I noticed one of them jump up, and he grabbed this metal pipe and swung it at me. Yeah. Swung it at me. And I was like, whoa, what are you doing? And I started running because I'm not into proving anything nowadays. So I used to fight, but I'm not fighting nowadays. And so it was pretty, wake up call to pay attention. But
so now your jogging career has begun again. Yes.
That's
right. Yeah. Now look, I still can handle myself. I just didn't want to risk it.
Yeah. I was going to say, what do we need to prove? Yeah.
The other thing that impressed me about C ROC was that he was at an event to learn, and then he left that event to even go learn more stuff at a different location. So he is constantly striving to keep improving as a person.
Yeah. I was in San Diego for Secret Knock, and there was the day before the event and one of the days of the event, I went out to this place and studied for all day, both times, on how to study and learn better and faster. And from right there, flew to GrowthCon because I had a spot on GrowthCon stage last weekend.
Nice.
And good stuff.
That's not a small piece to get out there. So GrowthCon is big deal. So
yeah, we had 1,500 people sign up for Blooprinted while I was on stage.
Dude, that's amazing.
50% of the room.
That's amazing. But again, what I love is the fact that it's going to be the piece you want, right? So when I'm looking at the course, right, steps to maximize your experience at GrowthCon, right? So you already took that and said, here, let me show you what you could do to maximize it. But how to start a podcast. So many people are out there saying, how do I start a podcast? How do I start it? How do I make it right? How do I put the things together? And you have that as a component. You have a blueprint for that. And so that to me just makes the most sense, that I can come in and buy whatever I need to focus on, because so many nowadays, right? So like Cardone University, I used to work with Joe Verdi, built the sales version on the sales side of it when Grant was doing that. And then Grant and I worked on Cardone, but we looked at it and it was over deliver on the amount of things, but then your price point gets so high that you leave out so many people that are the individuals, where you've now taken that and said, if you are one person that wants to learn how to do something, here's the piece you need to go and learn how to do. And then
Well, Joe, here's the other thing. When most people want to do something, they Google it or they go on YouTube and they don't know the credibility of the source. So we're going to make sure that we're certifying and verifying our blueprint architects. There will be uncertified, unverified people, but they won't have the seal. They won't have the blueprint seal. So people can come here and understand that, hey, I want to find out how to do this right away. And the price points are very reasonable.
Absolutely. So, and again, the benefit you're going to get from anything that's on there is fantastic. So example, guys, I'm looking at it over here, so I can even flip it up and share, because it's brilliant the way he's looking. If I look over here, we throw it up on the screen, let's make it bigger. And so, but looking at it, there you go, $97, $397, and C ROC is going to show you how to get your podcast going. I mean, that's value add at this point in time, no doubt. And then look, how to build and monetize your luxury personal brand strategy. And under a G, you're going to find out from somebody that C ROC has put on and chosen that they're going to actually go through and do that. So again, this is something that you look at and say, hey, I want to go ahead, I want to buy this, I want to get that blueprint. And look, you guys even share with us everything they're going to get. So, and time frames, dude, this is brilliant.
Hey, Joe, the other thing is accountability, right? And there's a feature when you buy a blueprint, you can actually import it into your calendar. You say,
nice.
Actually, before you start the blueprint, you have to tell it what day and what time you want to start on it and what days you're going to work on it. And once you do that, you can push import to calendar, and the calendar, your own calendar, can send reminders to you, but it's on your calendar, so that makes sure that you structure it into your day or week and make sure you get the job done.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So again, I can't stress enough, everybody, as we all know we have issues with accountability, and we tend to tell ourselves we can handle it. But again, you've taken that off of our plate as well, to say, hey guys, go have fun, do this, right? And then we will make sure you get the result that you paid for. And so right. somebody would have to want to just donate money to not be successful with completing the course. It's like, I just want to give it to you, C ROC. And again, you're not going to turn it down, but we still want the most success out of everybody possible.
And Joe, people can build businesses around blueprints. You know, like it could be a lead magnet. They could graduate people from a basic blueprint for like a $25 blueprint all the way up to thousands once people go through gradient levels of learning or doing, and build all the way up to it, because we believe, we have a thesis that life is better on a blueprint.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you put it together. There you go. Jaime's got it.
Yeah, right? Jaime hit it on the nail on the head.
Yeah. And as entrepreneurs, we tend to try to do, I was sitting there talking one time with a friend of mine. He says, you know, entrepreneurs tend to look and say, I have a hammer and a nail, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit that hammer and nail. And then we have another idea, and then we put out 2 more nails and the 2 hammers, and we try to do this. And next thing you know, we've got 5 nails on a board, and we're trying to handle 5 hammers back and forth, and it's just never going to get you there. And so that's what I look at. And your part with scaling and finding the right person that can go through all the vitals and give you that, and then getting the clarity, eliminating the distractions, and focusing on everything that you can do. And now either build a blueprint and put it on the platform, right, and talk to Mike about that, or you can sit down and go learn as you need to, with the accountability piece that is missing from just about every other course creator program. Is there is no accountability, and there is no dedicate the time to get you there. So
yeah, one other thing when it comes down to the hammer analogy you just made, you got to complete cycles, man. We start cycles all the time, and then they don't get completed, and then before you know it, you have chaos and confusion because there's so many unfinished cycles. So if you're in a sales process and you go to call somebody and you're prospecting, if you even are willing to pick up the phone or send them email and direct message, a text, whatever it is, you start that cycle and then you get a call and then you don't follow up. That's an incomplete cycle. So if you think in your head, don't worry about all the sales process. Don't worry about people giving you objection. Don't worry about all that. Complete the cycle. If I start something, I got to finish it, because when you do that, you will sell. There's no way around it.
No, that's fantastic. So I want to say thanks, Mike, for throwing in the time today. I love your backdrop and your set. That's going to be another screenshot I have to put up and go, that's what I need the back to look like. But I'm working remote today, so that's not the way mine normally set up. But so I want to say thanks, Mike. If somebody wants to reach out to you, is Blooprinted the way to find you? Social media, a preferred one?
First of all, thanks, Joe, and thanks for everybody for showing up today. It means the world to me to have the opportunity to pour into people. So yeah, Blooprinted, you can check out on the site right there, but I'm on Instagram, Clubhouse, Mikey C ROC, MIKEY CROC. You can find me and I answer all my DMs. So if you have a question, want to engage with me.
This is proof right here. So fantastic. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you.
Right.
And
thanks,
as always, everybody, let's go out and sell something. Thanks.